like,
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's the Mike and Doug Show.
Once again.
You know, so we're keeping an eye on it, see if we get a live message.
I saw a picture the other day of Tammy McKinney with a knife in her hand.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was some birthday party. I think she was trying to cut the cake, but she had the knife turned wrong. So I never did hear the news out of Noblesville about that.
I don't see the
I got a message.
notification going on. You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. That's what I wanted to know. All right. We should be ready to rock.
And the reunion.
Looks like there's already two on. Hey, it's Mike and Doug, the reunion. Yeah, let's do the start off with the review.
A lot of fun. A lot of people.
88 or so, we'll say, roughly.
To the new committee, it should be a 2-day event because we didn't get around to talk to everybody. There were so many people there.
A 2-day event. That's a lot of BGHS, man.
Can there be enough?
Hey, but whatever the 50-year committee wants to do.
And Marquette's on it, so
yeah.
There's no telling what it'll be.
That's okay. So what was the highlight?
By far, Wanda.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well?
She is a human highlight film.
A human highlight film. So, let's see. Yeah, I had a good time. Came off. I thought the food was great. What'd you do to yourself?
I scraped that up against the door frame yesterday, helping somebody move something.
Wow.
It is not a meat injury. It's not doing anything with my meat when I hurt
no
my
workman's comp.
So, yeah, I was working. And I'm working on that case right now.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I figured it'd take 6 months for the bruise to heal.
Yeah. So, I was gonna update something. Mike's ordered breakfast. That's it. Good news. So breakfast's on its way for Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought the food was excellent at Fifth Street. Is that what Fifth Street Pub and Grill.
Yeah.
So glad to see everybody out. Appreciate it.
If you're ready, I think our mayor's coming in behind you.
Ah, awesome. He's due today.
Is that him?
There he is.
Yeah.
Morning, Mr. Mayor. Come on in. Right on. Come on in. Bring him in here. We'll slide over and bring him in.
I'm going to sit on the other side.
He's sanitizing right now. You're going to sit on the other side. What the hell?
Okay. So we want everybody to get the
we
whole.
can get close.
Everybody to get the whole.
Well, come on in, Dennis. Live from Mom's this morning, Mayor Dennis Buckley.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
It's going to rain today.
Yeah, thunderstorms may be damaging winds.
That's all right. I hope not for that.
Yeah, well, right.
For the rain, yes.
Yeah.
Dennis, how'd the bridge set and go last week?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, that was bridge number 3.
Now, is that okay? So, was that bridge number 3 being put up, or that was the bridge designated number 3? Does that make sense?
Yes. That was on the plans. That's bridge number 3.
Okay.
That's not the third bridge that's going up.
Is it the first?
First bridge.
I thought it was. So, just to give you a quick update, I went out with John Parks and my drone guy yesterday. So, it's awesome. I'm putting together, because it's totally cool. Everybody needs to see it, but probably wait until it's actually open, right?
Yes. But it's a neat story. And I'll share it with you.
Please do.
The Greenway. Really, Mayor Wiley started talking about it back in the early 1990s. And then nothing came of it. Mayor Wright, he was really interested in it, so he really was the one who got the ball rolling on it. And he got the first grant
Okay.
for the construction of the
Mhm.
grant, of the trail. So at that time, it was going to be the Beech Grove Greenway. And I think the grant that he got was for $1 million. It was a matching grant. Well, they kept working on the design of the trail, and when I became mayor in 2012, there was still nothing going on with the trail. It was still in design. We didn't have the money to match the grant.
Gotcha.
So in 2012, late 12 or 13, I surrendered the grant back to the Indianapolis Metropolitan Planning Organization. That's who awarded the grant to us because we didn't have the money to pay our match. Okay. Some people say that Buckley didn't like the Greenway, so nothing's ever going to come of it. But that's obviously not true because it's here. And as a matter of fact, a couple of years later, I applied for another grant through the same organization, the MPO. But this time, we applied for $2.6 million, and we were awarded that funding for the construction of the Greenway. So it's always good if you get a grant, if you cannot match, to be upfront about it and tell the organization that we can't match this and return it. So we returned $1 million grant and ended up getting $2.6 million.
Sweet.
So anyway, the construction of the trail cost it's going to cost $3.3 million.
Okay.
The Indianapolis MPO and INDOT is going to contribute $2.6 million. So Beech Grove's match is $700,000. So while this was going on, the design of the trail never changed from its inception because every time you change it, it costs more money. So the trail is still like it was first designed, 2.2 miles.
Okay.
There's 4 bridges and there's 5 trailheads. So if you pay attention to what's going on around the park now, all of the roads, with the exception of Churchman, that surround the park have been repaved. It's all, and we're getting ready to do Main Street now, and that's all because of the trail, including the roads that go up through the park. So the city had to come up with $700,000 to pay our 20%. It's an INDOT project, so INDOT pays 80% of it, and we pay 20%. So $700,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Even if it's only 20%,
yeah,
it's still a lot of money, right?
and that's just for the construction. So what happened was, at the same time they were dismantling the hospital.
Yeah.
So I sat down with their CEO out of Mishawaka, Kevin Leahy, Sister Jane Marie Klein, who heads up the executive board in Mishawaka, and Dr. Callahan, who is the president of Franciscan South, Indianapolis. And we started talking about St. Francis' legacy.
Mm.
And the number one question that that I've had since I've been mayor, and I'll never have anything like this again, is a question like this: is what's going on with the hospital? What's happening with the hospital? By far,
Sure.
because I was born there. My dad died there. My Aunt Dorothy worked in the kitchen for 30 years. Everybody.
We all have that legacy, don't we?
Everybody had a connection to St. Francis Hospital. So when it came down, the connection was still there. So I sat down with them, and we started talking about their legacy and the desire for them to continue their legacy in Beach Grove. So I asked them, I said, why don't you buy the naming rights to this trail? And that way we can promote the legacy, and I think it's important. So I told them, I said the cost would be $400,000. So they went back, and about a month later, their executive board decided that we would like to buy the naming rights. So
So kudos to you for all for thinking of that and offering it up. Seriously.
So it was a good business move on their behalf. So that left a balance of $300. So the city and the RDC split it. So for $150,000, the city gets almost $3 million. I do that every day. So anyway, Doug, that's where the name Franciscan Trail. That's where this came from.
Okay, it was well paid for.
Yeah, it was paid for.
And Dennis, anytime that you have that amount of money that you need to pick up for the city, like there's your check man. I'm surprised you didn't go over to 11th Street and just say, yeah,
Well, I've heard he has quite a bit of money.
You have heard correctly. Yeah.
So anyway, so this talk about the Greenway and now the Franciscan Trail, this has been going on for over 25 years. And so I always thought it was a good idea. But I was never in a position to do anything about it until I became mayor. My thought on it is it changes the whole city.
Oh, most definitely.
People already walk on it, and it's just gravel. So I think one of the most common questions that I get is, they're not working on the trail, it's just sitting there. There's nobody doing anything on it. They are, it's just you don't see them because the trail's 2.2 miles long, and it starts out behind the funeral home, follows the creek, and then it disappears into the woods on the west side of the creek and goes crosses a bridge, goes behind Park Meadow, and then it crosses another bridge and follows the creek behind a subdivision called Carson Farms, and then it comes out on another bridge and goes into Carrington and follows Charnwood Parkway Drive, crosses 9th, goes behind the park, and then follows the creek behind South Grove School, hops the 4th bridge, and then goes up into the woods and comes out where the Taco Bell is. So you just don't see them.
And I can say yesterday, we started there behind Little and Sons, and you walk in, I had the same comment. I'm like, wow, nobody's working. And you really can't. I mean, unless you got your waders on right now, you can't follow that path, which is fine because it's under construction for at least another year, right?
I think it will be substantially completed by the end of this year.
Oh, awesome. But so we went to Charnwood to see where that bridge had been set. And there's guys working, they're, compressing and doing all that. So I think we're accustomed to smaller projects that you can drive up to one point and see what's going on, because I had the same thought. But then I'm like, there's 6 or 8 heavy equipment pieces with heavy equipment doing their deal. And I'm like, wow.
Yes. That bridge that they set last Thursday weighed 52,000 pounds.
Mm.
And once they get the wood deck on the bridge, that will add another 10,000 pounds to it. So that bridge will weigh 62,000 pounds. And it's on the Beech Grove website.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, there's a place to see it. It's amazing how they handle that.
The next bridge that goes up goes on bridge number 4. It goes at the end of South Fourth.
Oh,
You'll be
okay.
able to see the bridge off to the side. So they're going to do that early next week. So there's been a lot of work done on it behind the scenes. And let me clarify a little bit about it being an NDOT project. This is something that the city, we don't handle any of the construction process. We don't handle any of the bidding. It was all conducted by NDOT. NDOT is overseeing this project. NDOT has given this company so many months to complete this project. And if it's not complete in that time frame, then they are penalized every day. So they know, they've been around long enough to know what the rules are from NDOT. And quarterly, NDOT has meetings with them to see where they're at. And then every week we get a report on the progress of the construction. And you'll be able to see it on the website. We just had one here the other day. So they're about 25% done with the project. But it'll go fast once they get these bridges in. So it's really something. And I tell people all the time that once it's done and you walk it, if you've lived here a long time, you'll see parts of Beech Grove that you never knew existed. And it's really beautiful.
Well, that's yesterday when we did the drone shot. And I'm going to put all this up and I'll make it available to anybody who wants to, if you want to put on Beech Grove or whatever. But you don't know you're in Beech Grove within 100 yards.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes.
You're looking around, and that's what was amazing, even from the path or from the 100 feet up or whatever. You're like, this is amazing, because you're totally immersed in that woods.
Yes.
And so I'm going to try to keep up every month and try to show progress, because that's cool.
When you walk on, when you get up on the bridge and just stop and watch the creek, it's really pretty. It'll be really pretty, especially when the water levels up a little bit.
Well, and that's what I found, not to interrupt, but yesterday off of Churnwood, we were standing there looking, and Mike and I grew up on North 11th, right by the Baldimes, where you go down Devil's Backbone. And you walk down there, Mike, you and I should do that. You walk down, and it is just like when we grew up. It's wide. When I say deep by comparison of where it is other places. And I'm like, my God, this is where I grew up. A little different place that we didn't go to, but certainly the same. It's just beautiful.
Well, from somebody who's been away from Beech Grove for 43 years, it's amazing to see this. Just simply amazing.
The whole project's unbelievable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the suggestion I have, tongue in cheek somewhat, is to the right of the bridge where there's that little area open. And I said, what we should do is make that Beech Grove and fill it in with sand, because it's so cool. I mean, you're like, oh my God. I encourage everybody, go take a look.
I think we should put pictures at various places of the 1972 Newcomer Lumber Little League team.
Yeah. By the way, the best Little League team ever.
You ain't right.
Now,
What was it? Beat who was it? Howard's Pharmacy and
Howard's Body
and
Shop.
Beech Grove Pharmacy, all in the same
7-Up.
year. Yep.
Yeah. Merchants Bank, First Bank and Trust.
Too.
Yeah, we beat them all. But anyway,
All comers.
it's actually, and some people know this. A lot of people don't know this. There's actually 2 trail projects going on in Beach Grove
Oh, really?
at the same time. Yeah, we're building another trail over off of Thompson Road.
Really?
Yes, it goes out for bid in October. It's a path, 8-foot asphalt path, and it runs on the north side of Thompson Road from Emerson to 9th Avenue.
Really?
Yes. So next spring they'll begin construction on it. So there'll be 2 trail systems in Beach Grove.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, as you said, it's going to change the face of Beach Grove in a good way. And as you see me out, and being a Class 2E biker, I bike electric bike. I love those things because those are safe ways to ride.
Yeah.
So, and walk in those trail clubs. There's, unless you're engaged in it, you don't know how big it is and how destination. And when you come off, you're starving. And then we got Beach Grove, Main Street coming around, right?
Main Street, and a lot of people don't know this, but that Main Street was the first project that I did as mayor.
Oh, okay.
From Emerson to 13th Avenue. And Main Street was done because we had a drainage problem. It was a stormwater drainage issue. That's why we did it. The road was higher than the sidewalk, so all of the water naturally drained into buildings. So in order to fix it, we had to lower the road. We lowered the road by 18 inches. And we went from building to building. But when we redid the road, we put it back to accommodate a trail. So down, I won't see it as mayor, but down the road, this could conceivably be part of the trail system.
Oh, wow.
Because it's already set up for sidewalks and bike lanes. Yes. So that was thought of as part of the process. Yes.
Well, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember that was, Mike, you weren't here, but it was like a war zone on Main Street. What
Really?
It really was.
Yeah.
Literally. I may have some old pictures of it, but it was a lot of work. It wasn't just a repaved deal, was it?
No. No, they took the road down and put in the pipe they took out. The drainage pipe was 18 inches.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh my God.
Now, and we chronicalized it, the pictures through the whole process. It went from 18-inch pipe to 54-inch pipe. So now,
Wow.
you have these big rains that we have now, like an inch or 2 an hour. There's no sign of water.
That's unbelievable. 18 inches.
Yeah.
Good.
No wonder it didn't drain.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
Well, that's still interesting as, as a resident of Beach Grove, and everybody's, it's one of those, tennis balls that everybody likes sending back and forth. Maybe we should call that a tennis ball instead.
no. But the trail, I wanted to talk about the trail this morning.
Yeah.
There's been some hurdles to get over. We had to get several permits from DNR and the State Board of Health. When you work around the creek,
Yeah.
the rules
yeah.
change.
Yeah.
The rules change. So, but those we've done all of those, and people look at it now, and it's kind of a mess. But keep in mind that NDOT is going to require the contractor to restore the property back to its original condition as close as they can before they release the project. So all of that will be cleaned up.
Sure,
And,
it's part of the scope. It's just
yeah.
another end of it, right?
And NDOT, if you are building a trail in the state of Indiana and it's an NDOT project, every bridge looks like the ones in our trail. They have one design for bridges. That's it. They don't paint them. They're natural. They look like they're rusted out. But what happens is the longer they're exposed to the environment, they change color to a brownish red.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward. I walk it all the time now because I've talked to the guys that are working on it. Some people, a few people don't care for it. But a lot of people are really excited about it.
And the first time those people that don't care about it get on it and walk it, you're gonna change their mind.
I hope.
Yeah.
But there, through all of this, there's only been about 4 houses that are directly affected by this.
Mm.
And I understand their concerns, and we've already worked with one family because everybody has a right to privacy.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And if you're walking in the trail and their house is right up against the trail, you don't want everybody looking up into your property. I totally understand that, and we've sat down with them and worked with them, and we're doing some things for them, and we'll work with all 4 families that are directly affected by this and try to do what we can to get them as much privacy as possible.
Because there were funds set aside for that,
Yes.
right? So it isn't like, oh, we got to pull it from somewhere else to get there. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's, and I'm sure NDOT's encountered that before, and I understand. I mean, if what is it, Meadow Grove that it comes back up to,
Park Meadow.
or Park Meadow, yeah, and I understand that, but it's for the few, for the many, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's nobody. Oh well, unless you bought it, nobody owns nature.
So what's really going to be neat is when it's done, it's an asphalt path 12 feet wide, but there's going to be special kind of riprap along the banks. There's going to be some fencing, wood fencing in areas where there's a steep grade. They're going to plant over 500 trees throughout this trail system. So when that was a big concern for DNR, because they have this rule: for every tree that you take out, you have to replace it. So they took some trees out. We hired an arborist, and he went down and did an inventory of trees, and he marked trees that he thought that should be saved. So when they did the construction, they moved the trail a little bit to save these trees. So, but every tree that was taken out has to be replaced. So I think it'll really be pretty when they place these trees along the trail. But it would be beautiful after 10 years. About 10
Well,
years.
sure, yeah, can't speed it up, but are they going to be beech trees?
I don't know.
Well, the question that always comes up is, how many beech trees do we have left, right? Since Beech Grove, and I'm like, you get a much better idea when you're
We don't
riding the
have
trail,
we
right?
don't have a lot of ash trees left because
Yeah.
of that
Right.
Amber borer
Right.
insect. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I as well. I mean, I think that, I think what you said are absolutely true words, because lived here my whole life, other than a couple of short stints, and like same thing. You as soon as you come off that path coming down from Sherman Drive and you take that right, you're 300 yards in and you're like, I have never been over here before.
Did you see the dam back there?
I did, yeah. I had no idea.
It's been there forever and a day.
I'll be knowing, really.
Dalton's farm.
Yeah,
Horse farm.
right. Yeah, oh yeah.
I remember Dalton.
Dalton Stables, yeah.
Yeah.
Dalton Stables.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like when I say stepping back in time memory, but it's even improved because ease of access, right? Kids with strollers. Morning, Mouse. I think that's awesome. I mean, you know, gung ho about it. Yes, I am. Why wouldn't you be? You know, as I said, few people affected, but big picture of giving Beech Grove much more of an update to, you know, natural, not something artificial.
I want you to think about something. If you put in perspective I-70, I-70 south,
Okay.
there's only one trail.
Really?
And it's this one being built.
It's this one. So, okay, so that brings
Everything
up
is
great.
up north.
So, what about connectivity?
Okay. What I hope happens, and I won't see it as mayor, but
You and I just hope we see it while we're alive, right?
yes,
I mean, and mine.
the best thing that can happen to our trail is it become part of a larger system.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I think the city of Indianapolis wants to do. I think they want to connect it to Pleasant Run, the Pleasant Run Trail. So, and I think they want to do it sooner than later. And they want to extend it to where it takes off south and goes to U of I, past Rock Holly, Southport, all the way down to the county line. So I hope that happens. I won't see it as mayor, but it needs to happen.
Well, I think it's terrific. I know there were some comments, you know, because I'm out and just as Doug Citizen promoting it, just like everything else that, you know, in Beech Grove, because I think we need it, need this. Is they said, well, you know, and to hear DNR's involved, you know, because of, you know, everybody's always concerned about the swallowtail, you know, I don't, whatever it is that, and I'm not making light of that, but I'm saying, you know, we've heard about that over the years. But I mean, accommodations are being made for that. You know, DNR, they're vigilant about keeping that.
Well, I was concerned about wildlife.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And when they started this project, it started clearing out. It pushed animals away. So now I've seen some of the birds back there are beautiful.
That's what I hear from John Parks, who
Yes.
is top of the park.
Yes.
The red-shouldered hawk and all
Yes.
that stuff's amazing.
Yeah. They're beautiful. They're
Yeah.
beautiful birds. But I've seen everything except I haven't seen a deer. I haven't seen a coyote. And there's one other animal that I haven't seen. But I have been told now that by residents that the deer have come back. So I haven't witnessed them, but there's three animals: coyote, fox,
Okay.
fox, and deer. I haven't seen any of those three, but they tell me that they've seen deer back there.
Well, I have squirrels eating my tomatoes. I'll be glad to bring them down and drop them off. If you need some squirrels,
There's several squirrels.
eating
Some
all
of them
my
are,
tomatoes.
some of them are human. But hey, while we're on here, the roundabout out at Arlington Avenue.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
The roundabout or the Hornet?
The Hornet.
I think we all should have went out there
Well,
for reunion.
I think roundabouts, as we have all become adapted to them, going the right direction, not the wrong, those kind of things, I think it's awesome.
It does keep traffic moving.
It does.
Yeah.
I think it's an efficient way. I see the benefits because of where I live, the 117th, but out there in Arlington. So the question is the Hornet lit at night?
Yes.
Okay.
Orange.
Because well, that seems appropriate. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that was done. Almost all of it was paid by private donations. Plus, its steel was donated by Alro.
Alro, yeah.
And the guy who designed it and built it, he contributed quite a bit of time to it at no charge too. So it cost roughly, we received about $75,000 in donations
Wow.
to build that. So I just think it's appropriate. It's the east end of town coming into Beech Grove.
Right.
Beech Grove Hornets. Um, it's well, it's well made. Excuse me. It's well maintained, and it's just really it works.
We really want anybody from Franklin Central coming into town to see it.
Well,
Well, intimidation factor.
I don't get on Facebook, but they tell me that there was quite a discussion about why isn't there a blue lightning bolt there?
And for everybody who grew up, as I don't know if it's currently like that, but during our era, that was for real fun stuff. For the most part, fun, unless you're, we still know how some folks, anyway.
But a couple things about that, and then I'm going to get out of here. Don't try and steal it because it weighs 3,500 pounds.
Mike, now we got to find something else to do Friday night.
Well, we're pretty much through that because we've had our reunion. Nobody went out there.
That's true.
And we really discourage people stop their car, get out, and go up there and get a picture taken with it. And we really strongly discourage that. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
They want to get their picture taken with that big one. But anyway.
Well, yeah, it kind of begs for it, but I understand the safety concerns. But no, well, that's looking. I mean, we kind of talked about Beech Grove 360. Kudos to you. I mean, no matter what anybody thinks, new businesses don't start where people are are losing ground rather than gaining ground. And I sat at the Beech Grove Promoters Club meeting last week, and they were talking about how many new businesses were in Beech Grove. And that's certainly better for everybody who's in Beech Grove from tax-based perspective, as well. So, not having to travel to take care of that. So, and I think all that really does, one way or another, lead back to the leadership for Beech Grove. I know I sound like a suck up, and you guys know I don't give a shit because I just say what I think.
Well, one of the things that you always when I became mayor, you always go back. You always fall back on what you're strong at, and I was very strong with public safety because of my background.
Yeah. And just for those who don't know, tell just briefly what your background is, because it is certainly relative to this.
I was a fireman here for 30 years, and the last 11 and a half years that I served the fire department, I was the chief. So I had a basic understanding of government and how government should operate. I had Mayor Wiley and Mayor Gishweiler. They were pretty good guys to watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I had a fundamental understanding of it. But I was strong in public safety, but I was clueless in economic development. I couldn't even spell it.
Well, yeah, you went to be
you know what I found out by just working it. After about a year or two, I really liked it. I really liked going out and talking to business about why they should come here and what we have to offer. And we've now, the 10 years that I've been mayor, we've lost businesses. I mean, it's a two-way street. But we have gained well over 100 new businesses, and some of them pay very big taxes. So we work with them all the time, and we have a couple more that we're trying to talk to come here to help us as well. So it's just been enjoyable for me, and we're going to continue. Beech Grove. We are really doing good right now. We come out of the pandemic. It was really devastating for us, but we survived, and these businesses survived. But I got to tell you, Doug, that the federal government came out with the PPP program. If it wasn't for that, we would have probably lost 20% of our businesses.
That's significant for
That
us.
is
For our,
significant.
it's not just 20% of a million. You know, it's
And we have approximately 450 businesses in Beach Grove.
okay.
So
That's a good statistic to know too. You know, it's. But I see, you know, the what's being replaced. I spend more time now on Main Street, consuming, shopping, just stuff like that, than I ever had before in my life. You know, now granted, I wasn't a huge customer of Beals, but that's for a different reason.
have you ever come down for First Friday?
Yeah,
I just want to tell people that, and you got to give credit where credit is due. That's not a city initiative. That is done by the Beach Grove Art Collective, a group of artists put that on, and they have done a really good job with this. And I love coming down here on First Friday. And we have one coming up on August 6th. I think it starts around 5:30, and it'll probably be the biggest one we've ever had.
really.
And it's just crazy, the number of people that are down there, and it's good.
I saw something about music on Main Street.
Yeah.
Being new to the area, shocked to hear about that. It sounded pretty good.
The promoter, you talked about the Promoters Club a minute ago, and you know they've been a really good organization for many years. But like everybody else, last year they lost their ability to raise money
Due to the fall festival not going on. Yeah.
due to the COVID. Well, you know they've always paid for the fireworks. So I thought myself that it's really important that the city that we have fireworks this year to try to get back to some type of normalcy, whatever that may be. This year the city paid for it, and you know some people say, "What are you doing paying for fireworks with tax dollars?" Well, come on, you know we gotta do something to get going. So you know, hopefully in the future, the Promoters Club will be able to begin to pay for those again, and the city won't have to do it. But I can already tell you that if the same situation comes up next year, I'll do it again because it just brought thousands and
And
thousands.
fireworks that were better than the city of Indianapolis.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anybody I think who makes that statement fly did not go down to the park, even drive around to see, you know, that onslaught of people, and I say it in a positive way. And as you mentioned to me, you know, shutting down the park from regular traffic, movement is genius because it made it so much safer and so much more community. Because everybody, and yeah, I'm a rah guy, and that's okay because it's true. From doing that stuff, so I think it's awesome. I mean, I do, and
So-
they recognized in the meeting that I attended Beach Grove's participation and contribution. So I think that is kind of a symbiotic relationship. That's
It is. I told them I think it's important that they recognize the police department, the fire department, public works, the parks department, and I told them, in all honesty, don't leave my name out of it because this is about me. This is about getting people to come into the city. So, but like talked about the Music on Main, that's a chamber event, Greater Beach Grove Chamber of Commerce. They had the same situation last year. They had to cancel the promoters canceled the fireworks. The city canceled the fireworks. They canceled the Music on Main because of COVID. They lost their ability to raise money. So this year they're going to have the Music on Main. It's going to be here at 5th and Main on August 28th.
Yeah.
And they were short on funding as well. So the city is going to sponsor the event. We're going to sponsor the music and the stage. The city will not sponsor the kids zone or any booth, and the city will not sponsor anything that involves alcohol.
Mhm.
But we will sponsor the stage and the bands, and that is to get them going because we feel like it's important enough that they do this to get people to come down here. So they had it a couple of years ago. I liked it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's well, and you know,
You
it's,
know, it would be dead. I mean, anything that can draw people in to see what's going on. That's the main thing. Is to get this out here.
Yeah.
Let people see this.
and it's a free event. I mean, you know, granted, but you know, you can bring a cooler, some type of soda and water, and you know, whatever. It's
It's going to
not
be
like
beautiful. Low
admission.
humidity, 72 degrees.
Right.
It'll be beautiful that night.
Hey, we're going with that till we hear different.
Yeah. But yeah, those are some of the things. That
Yeah, it's fun. It's
yeah, it's
it
free.
keeps our sense of community,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It,
So
it keeps our sense of community. I think that's key. It's you know, it's the fun stuff that makes you want to live in Beech Grove. To me, you know, the Facebook trolls, yeah, whatever. I don't care. You know,
I don't read it.
yeah, now and it, you know, it's you know, I always look why you're posting that. But the fun stuff is like down here at Sweet Scoops that's just opened up. I was in there. There's a bunch of fire people in there. You know, they were on, you know, and doing that. So I'm like, hey, let's buy them ice cream, right? So just you know, it's that's the sense of community. I don't care what it says, and I'm not going to get into this politically because it's I think it's a good idea because I understand economics to a certain degree. But I mean, it's like one lady said, "Well, I'd really like to still see Beech Grove on the side of fire trucks." I'm like, "Do you know what the cost of that really is, Miss? Before you just feel warm, and I'm not taking away from you, but if you know the whole picture, it's a damn good move."
Well,
I knew it would be because of your history and where you came from, that you truly understood the impact better than probably any other citizen here, or you know, who hasn't been involved in it.
the I wasn't going to talk about the interlocal agreement, but now that you brought it up, I will. I mean, if you really paid attention to what goes on around here for the past, back when I was fire chief, we entered into an mutual aid agreement with IFD to help us on runs because we didn't have the staffing, the equipment to properly respond. So they helped us. Well, over the past couple of years, if you really paid attention to what's going on, the Indianapolis Fire Department is in Beech Grove every single day, sometimes more than once. So I approached the chief a year or so ago, and we started talking. I said, "This is ridiculous. We're duplicating services. You know, we're spending way more tax dollars than we need to be spending." So we started talking about it, and I did not want to consolidate our fire department with them. I wanted to keep control of our ambulance. We have a very good ambulance service, and I didn't want to lose that. However, the fire department is like the fire service is like an ATM. It is so expensive to provide this service. So there's a better way we could do it. So we came up with this interlocal agreement where we would hire IFD to provide our fire protection. And I didn't present it to the council because it's going to save us money. It may save us money. I think it will. I don't know how much. I presented it because it makes this service better for the people of Beech Grove. If I thought it made the service worse, I would never have done it. It just makes sense. And now, what it does, it gives a better service for us, but it also, in a weird way, it helps the police department. Because now we're going to build a new police station. But in Marion County, us and Speedway are at the bottom of the pack for what we pay people. So, and it's very hard to be a police officer right now. And recruiting new employees to be police officers is extremely difficult. And the worst thing that can happen to us is we lose the inability to, or the ability to retain our current police officers. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to present to the council, is a salary increase, base salary increase for our police officers that will take us out of the bottom and bring us almost to the top in Marion County, in hopes of being able to make it attractive to work here. It's extremely dangerous. Society, for the most part, has lost any type of trust in the police, which is very unfortunate. I'm not one of these guys who I have no desire to defund the police, cut budgets for the police. No, just the opposite. We're increasing our budgets for law enforcement. So, and if you look at the things that we do here, we do trash pickup, we do parks, fire department, DPW, police. Of all the things that we do, there's one thing that we have to be really good at, and that's law enforcement. So that's what this is all about. And but you know what you said earlier, I listened to it because of all the things that we've done over the past 10 years that have drawn a response from the public. And I've done some things that have drawn a really ugly response from the public. But this initiative with IFD has been unbelievably positive.
Good, because
To the point where I'm shocked. People get it. If the fire truck's really not going to save your life, the ambulance is going to save your life. If my house is on fire, I want the red fire truck in front of my house as soon as possible. If it says Beach Grove, fine. If it says IFD, fine.
exactly.
So-
Exactly.
And at this age, I'd rather have a good ambulance.
I would too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can tell you just a real life experience was I was down at the roundabout on 17th one Sunday evening about 7 o'clock. No idea what happened, but 9 fire trucks came by, and immaterial or whatever it was, as I watched, I thought, I'm not looking at names, I'm looking at response. Because that's got to be something pretty decent sized to get that kind of attraction, response. But yeah.
So our council hears it next week, and then by the end of the year, it should be done.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's what, when I was at Sweet Scoops, I questioned everybody. I said, and no cameras on, nothing like that. I just wanted to know, as a citizen, what do you think? And they said, it provides us more opportunity for specialized training that we've been trained for, and we can get training and to be able to use it. And that's everybody who has a job is always looking to improve their skill set and use it. So not, hopefully not because it's job fulfillment. And that's part of what keeps people, hanging around for a job. Except for Mike, because he's retired.
Retired. Well, not really.
Well, he
Part-time guy. I'm your deli man.
now we have one more roundabout that's going to go in
okay.
before I leave office, and it's at 25th and Churchill.
Anybody who doesn't live over there does not understand what a dangerous intersection. Every time because I travel back and forth to the airport and use Uber, and Uber, that's one of the paths they use. And I say, you want to stop because that cross traffic, you're going to think it's a 4-way and it's not. And I said, we're going to get killed.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome.
It's if you're familiar with that intersection, it's really convoluted because you got Southern, you got Perkins, you got Churchman, and hang on. I grew up on Churchman, and I heard crashes all the time.
Yeah.
And so what's unique about this is it's going to go in construction in 23. It's another NDOT project. We got over $1 million for this. It's going to be 2 roundabouts in one, called Peanut Roundabout.
Oh, okay.
and it's designed to slow the traffic almost to a crawl. So bad intersection. Anybody who, Doug, you're exactly right. Anybody that travels through there knows, they get it. This is bad.
It is. And it's not through negligence. It's through a little bit of assumption.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good idea. You know, it's if it slows everybody down a little bit on Churchman, big deal. That's what's needed because it is scary out there. I mean, you really heads up.
But all of these projects I talked about just a little while ago, the Franciscan Trail, the Arlington Roundabout, the Thompson Trail, and then when we build the double roundabout, the Peanut Roundabout, all of those projects will be done and there will be no debt.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You know, that's everybody's sweating tax increases coming, and so you know that's good because that's all it leads to, right? It's either pay now or pay later, and with a lot of the subsidy coming from NDOT and so forth, I think that's awesome.
And that's, keep in mind that NDOT gets federal funding, and then they distribute it to these MPOs throughout Indiana. So all of these projects that we're doing, those are everybody's federal tax dollars coming back to you. So
That's awesome. I'm gonna spend just a second. I'm just gonna see if there's any questions that come out. Don't worry, I will filter them. Nope, just people saying good morning. Awesome. All right. And for anybody who doesn't know, and you're not on Facebook, Elaine Fisher Termenstein.
yes.
So she has a pregnant puppy. I mean, this girl's a wide load, and we're all on puppy watch. And so she said, no puppies yet. You know, there are some priorities. And that's the puppy watch.
36 inches around. It's a little pit. It's 36 inches around.
I see Ron Pickups on there.
Yeah, Ron's good
Frank.
saying good morning, Frank Everman. Yeah.
I'm surprised I could see that.
You see us working there.
Yeah, you got me like this. So you'll see that every once in a while.
Usually I keep the
Good old
iPad
bifocal,
up here
man.
because it's like, they always say you can tell by age by how people's heads are positioned on here.
So that's my story today, folks. I'll be back. There's a couple of things that I think I might want to talk about. So if you have the urge to invite me back.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Absolutely, anytime. Because, it's you, because unless I sent you the link and you're not on Facebook, probably looks at Patty's. Just kidding.
Patty's not on
She's
Facebook.
not, well, no, I imagine that's probably not
You know,
mentally
I got-
healthy.
About 5 years ago, I got tired of reading how bad I am. So I just turned it off.
So we're happy to have you anytime. We, we just have fun, but at the same time, we always take a look at what's being going on and promoted and, try to mention it because we kind of have a far but very narrow audience that we do. So no, because
You never know who watches it.
well, amen.
Well, and, you know,
We had no
most of them-
idea until the class reunion.
And most of them speak English.
You can say that, Mike. I'm not touching that.
But people out of the class that go, oh yeah, we watch, and I'm like, I had no idea you were watching. So
You never know.
no, and that's the reason we just keep it, whatever comes up, although I use the statement oftentimes, the opinions reflected by Mike aren't necessarily those of the Mike and Doug show. But no, you're
It's
welcome
hard.
anytime. We started this as something silly and it's remained that, but you add credence to it. Mike Ginsburg played one morning. We're going to have him back. And so we're just open to, and I think this is good because I think that sometimes it just, and as I was going to say, none of this is pre-rehearsed question. It's just stuff that comes out of our head and what it's yours too. And, we just roll along with it because I think we're all here for the better good of everybody around. I won't exclude it to Beach Girl or, reduce it to that. So no, we're glad to have you.
All right.
I don't care what Mike says.
That's my Newcomer Lumber teammate, man. I
Wait a
can't
minute,
believe
wait a
people,
minute. No, before we
Can't believe-
finish this. Now, so you were catcher? Because that's what
I
he's
know.
referring
I
to.
caught.
No,
I
no.
played
what is it?
second.
Yeah, he was a second baseman, as I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, why are you always giving him crap?
Because he's the mayor.
Oh, well, how do you explain Dave Orman?
Well, that explains itself.
Robbie Albertson. It's just, we might as well be nostalgia Beach Grove from what our minds can remember.
You know, Orman has a nickname.
He does. What is it?
Worm.
Yeah, yeah. That was his original one before Flick. I told Orman at the reunion, I said, I'm going to tell a story later on about you passing the basketball in 1971. The only time you ever
Well, that's
No, the only reason he did that is it slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, exactly.
well, the gentleman, because he watches this, and and I won't say his name correctly, but I've chatted with him many times, who started Sugar Scoops, the ice cream store there. And, he gets he goes, you guys are still really all tight. And I go, tight, different thing for me, but we are all still connected, right? That's the beauty of it. That's the thing, because even if you walk in and meet somebody, you're like, what year did you graduate? And then it just goes from there.
Listen, you can move out of Beach Grove, but you never leave.
No,
True
is
that.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. 43 years, I'm back.
Yeah.
Glad to be back. Yeah.
Well,
Glad to be back.
All right, I'm out of here.
all right. We appreciate
You guys
it.
take
Thanks a
care of
bunch.
yourself.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
All right. Bye, everybody. I got to get my walk in.
Right on. Well, his productive walk.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right.
You take care.
Yes, thank you. Have a good day always.
Bring that up.
He did when he went up there.
Okay.
And we're back.
Now the beauty is back.
All right. Here we go. John Hill, good morning.
Let's just say one thing about Angel Dog Acres since we brought that up.
Uh-huh.
Please send your donations. This dog is about a bust.
I think it's time to get rubber gloves, forceps, and go in. I'm an idea kind of guy.
Turkey based is over. Well, it's good to see Genesee on the baseball crowd.
Morning, John Hill from Mooresville. Welcome. Let's see.
What's going on in the land of Dillinger today?
Let me see. Frank thought it was a good idea to pay for fireworks. Cool. Jenny said hi. Okay, relatively few. Ronnie says hi. And Lane's laughing at us.
I do.
You ever deliver puppies?
Delivered the news
Okay,
once.
I'm doing it. All right, great. Is there any-
So no, today's a new day.
Super. I'll see you when you get.
I got I think I still have my scrubs when I used to pretend I was a doctor. Yeah.
What do you mean pretend? I thought you really were.
Yeah.
How'd you do that colon exam if you weren't to me? Yeah, we won't go there.
You took the pill.
I'm not going there. So anyway, what else exciting? Still fighting squirrels?
Yes. And if anybody wants one, as soon as I catch this next one, you can have it.
Does it come pre-skinned?
No, but squirrels taste like chicken.
See, you can find anything on the internet.
A little gravy. Gravy on anything is good.
That's true. So, delivering puppies is not pretty. Well, I wouldn't think it
I
would
would
be.
imagine.
It's going to be like that movie.
I've
There's going to
delivered-
be blood.
I've delivered some packages that weren't pretty.
What'd you say
That's
about
it.
your package?
That's another story. Hey, don't talk. I'm a meat man.
Well, that's never mind.
It's still here.
You don't see the other hand, though, do you? Show them all at once. Now, because I was in Mr. Wilson's, who was it that did anatomy? These are phalanges.
Huh.
we've got two. Check it out. We have 2 hearts and 8 people watching. Morning, Donna.
Good morning.
I don't know how to fix that.
I don't either.
So
Well, I guess it's time to go.
yeah, we're at 8:20. Hope everybody enjoyed the mayor. And hey, we'll have a great day.
Adios.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week. BDG, Big Dating Game Kids. Mwah.